Hey, welcome back to Following Science, the podcast where we explore the latest breakthroughs in medical research and innovation, shedding light on the science that shapes our world. I'm your host, Ruchel Parle, and today we're diving into some exciting developments that could revolutionize the future of cancer prevention and treatment. In today's episode, we'll be focusing on two major cancer research breakthroughs happening right now. The world's first ovarian cancer prevention treatment, or rather vaccine, and a new process for DNA repair that could significantly enhance cancer treatments. We'll also discuss a pioneering study uncovering the genetic causes of colorectal cancer and the launch of Yellowstone Biosciences, a biotech spinout focused on cutting-edge cancer therapies. So stay tuned as we unpack the future of cancer research. First up, we're heading to the University of Oxford, where the researchers have recently secured funding to develop something that could change the landscape of cancer prevention forever. A vaccine designed to prevent ovarian cancer. Yes, you heard that right. Prevent ovarian cancer, not just treat it. This incredible research is being spearheaded by a team of scientists led by Professor Ahmed, and they've received up to €600,000 in funding from Cancer Research UK to support this groundbreaking project. The vaccine, called Ovarian Vax, is based on a novel approach that trains the immune system to recognize and attack the earliest stages of ovarian cancer. This represents a shift in how we think about combating this deadly disease. And, of course, ovarian cancer is often referred to as the silent killer, which I'm not sure if you guys know, but it is true. And because its symptoms are so vague and usually only appear in the later stages, it makes it really difficult to diagnose early on. Now, in the UK alone, there are around 7,500 new ovarian cases each year, making it the sixth most common cancer in women. Now let's talk about what makes this vaccine so special. Ovarian Vax is designed to help the immune system detect early stage ovarian cancer cells by targeting specific proteins found on their surface. In the early stages of the study, researchers are working to identify which of these proteins, known as tumor-associated antigens, are most strongly recognized by the immune system. Once these proteins are identified, the vaccine will aim to train the immune system to recognize and attack cells that carry these antigens before they develop into full-blown cancer. Now, what's truly revolutionary about this research is the potential it holds for women with genetic predispositions to ovarian cancer. Women with altered BRCA1 and BRCA2 genes are at a much higher risk of developing ovarian cancer, which goes up to 65% higher in some cases for BRCA1. Right now, the only preventive option for women with these mutations is often drastic surgery to remove ovaries and fallopian tubes, usually before the age of 35. While this greatly reduces their cancer risk, it also means they lose the ability to have children and experience early menopause. Professor Ahmed, who's leading the Ovarian Vax project, has made it clear that this vaccine could offer a much better alternative. In a recent interview, he said, "We need better strategies to prevent ovarian cancer. Teaching the immune system to recognize the early signs of cancer is a tough challenge, but with today's advanced tools, we can start to overcome it. Ovarian Vax could offer a solution to prevent cancer, first in women at high risk, but potentially more widely if trials prove successful." Previous research by Professor Ahmed and his team has shown that immune cells from ovarian cancer patients retain a sort of memory of the tumor. This discovery is the foundation of the Ovarian Vax vaccine, which is designed to strengthen the immune system's ability to recognize and respond to these early cancer markers. Using organoids, or mini models of ovarian cancer, researchers will test how effectively the immune system can destroy these early cancer cells. Now, it's important to note that this is still in the research phase. Clinical trials are, of course, the next step, and it will likely take several years before we see ovarian vax become available to the general public. However, this funding marks an exciting step forward towards a future where women at high risk of ovarian cancer can be offered a vaccine that prevents the disease before it even has a chance to develop. Now, one particularly important aspect of the study is the involvement of patients and public representatives. The research team plans to work closely with these groups to determine who would be willing to take the vaccine, who could benefit the most, and how to ensure it's widely accepted if it proves successful. This kind of patient-focused approach ensures that the science is not just theoretically sound, but also practically applicable in the real-world healthcare setting. Now, Mitchell, the chief executive of Cancer Research UK, highlighted the significance of this research, saying Ovarian Vax builds on the exciting developments in vaccine technology during the pandemic. Projects like this are critical steps towards an exciting future where cancer is much more preventable. So while we may still be a few years away from a widely available ovarian cancer vaccine, Ovarian Vax is a beacon of hope for the millions of women who face the devastating reality of this disease. Now let's move on to another exciting development coming from a collaboration between researchers at the University of Oxford and the Nanyang Technological University in Singapore. This study, published in Cell, sheds light on a brand new process that could significantly impact how we approach cancer treatment, especially for patients undergoing chemotherapy for colorectal cancer, or rather colorectal cancer. This process, known as nucleophagy, is a form of autophagy, a kind of cellular housekeeping mechanism where cells quote-unquote clean up damaged components to maintain their health. But here's the twist. These newly discovered forms of autophagy directly repairs DNA damage, particularly damage caused by chemotherapy. For patients with colorectal cancer, which is the second leading cause of cancer-related deaths worldwide, this discovery could lead to a more effective treatment and more improved outcomes. So, how does nucleophagy work? When a patient undergoes chemotherapy, the treatment works by causing DNA lesions, which are essentially harmful damage to the DNA within cancer cells. Normally, the body has various ways to repair this damage, but the researchers found that nucleophagy plays a crucial role in cleaning up these lesions in a specific way. A protein called TEX264 is responsible for initiating this process. TEX264 guides damaged DNA to the cell's waste disposal system, where it is broken down and removed, allowing the cell to survive and maintain its genetic integrity. The research team used a variety of advanced techniques to uncover this process, including biochemical, bioinformatics, and zebrafish tools and models. Along with the materials from, of course, colorectal cancer patients, their results demonstrated that high levels of TEX264 were associated with better responses to chemotherapy, particularly in patients receiving a type of treatment called topoisomerase 1 inhibitors, commonly used for colorectal cancers. Now, one of the lead researchers, Professor Kristanjan Ramadan from the University of Oxford, said, while autophagy has been long associated with DNA repair, this is the first time we've seen a direct role in repairing chemotherapy-induced DNA lesions. This discovery opens up a new understanding of how our cells respond to cancer treatments and maintain their genetic integrity. The implications of this discovery is huge. For one, it could lead to new ways to enhance the efficacy of chemotherapy by modulating the activity of nucleophagy. By boosting this natural repair process, we might be able to help more patients respond better to cancer treatments. The researchers are already planning future studies to explore how this process can be harnessed to improve responses to chemotherapy in other types of cancer beyond colorectal cancer. Now, another key takeaway from the study is that the patients with high levels of TEX264 in their tumors had a 50% better response to treatment compared to those with lower levels. This could potentially help doctors predict which patients are likely to respond well to chemotherapy, leading to more personalized and, of course, effective treatment plans. Now, the potential of nucleophagy to repair DNA and improve patient outcomes is a game changer. It's a reminder of how complex and adaptable our cells are and how much there is left to discover about the body's natural defense mechanisms against cancer. And as if that wasn't enough groundbreaking news, let's turn our attention to a pioneering study that's just been published in Nature. This study, led by UK institutions including the University of Oxford, the Institute of Cancer Research in London, and others, offers the most comprehensive genetic analysis of colorectal cancer to date. Colorectal cancer is responsible for around 700,000 deaths globally every year, and understanding its genetic roots is essential to improving treatments and outcomes. This new research has provided an unprecedented view of the genetic landscape of CRC, utilizing data from over 2,000 bone cancer patients, as well as as part of the 100,000 Genomes Project led by Genomics in England. Now, the research team identified more than 250 key genes involved in CRC, many of which have never been linked to this cancer before. This is a huge leap forward in our understanding of the disease, but perhaps even more exciting is the discovery of new CRC subgroups, which are essentially categories of cancer that share specific genetic features. These subgroups have different patient outcomes and may respond differently to treatment, which could pave the way for more tailored and personalized therapies. Now, one of the researchers involved in the study, Dr. Claire Turnbull from the Institute of Cancer Research, said, "These new subgroups represent distinct forms of colorectal cancer, each driven by unique genetic mutations. What this means is that we can now explore treatments that target specific genetic weaknesses in these subgroups, potentially improving outcomes for patients with more resistant forms of the disease." The study also highlights the importance of identifying what the researchers call drivers of resistance. Now, these are just genetic mutations that cause cancer cells to resist treatment, even when they theoretically should be responding. By pinpointing these resistance mechanisms, scientists are hoping to develop drugs that can overcome them, making current therapies, of course, more effective. This finding holds massive potential for colorectal cancer patients. With, of course, this new genetic roadmap in hand, future clinical trials can now target therapies that match the specific genetic profiles of patients, giving them a much better chance at survival and long-term remission. Now, these discoveries represent just a few of the many incredible advances happening right now in cancer research, from the potential of a vaccine to prevent ovarian cancer to the breakthroughs in how our cells repair DNA damage and new genetic insights into colorectal cancer. There's no doubt that the future of cancer treatments is full of hope and promise. It's fascinating to see how researchers are pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible, and it's exciting to imagine what the next few years could bring. Now, as I wrap up this episode, I just want to thank you all for joining me today on Following Science. Of course, if you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to subscribe and leave a review. And remember, we're always here to keep you informed on the latest developments in the world of medical research and beyond. Until next time, I'm your host, Ritu Ruparo, signing off.